again, rail fans, and welcome back to another video. Today's date is September 12th, 2021, and we are located at Cuyahoga Valley's Northside Station in Akron, Ohio. The primary reason why we were up here was because we were here to attend the annual Steam in the Valley trips, headed up by the famous locomotive of the Nickel Plate Road 765. Considering the fact I haven't been on the Cuyahoga Valley Scenic Railroad since 2013, and considering the fact that I've always wanted to see Nickel Plate Road 765 up here, it was a shameless plug that we bought tickets to attend this event. Our timing couldn't have been any better because right after we pulled into the parking lot of Northside Station, Nickel Plate Road 765's six-chime whistle could be heard within the distance, as the train pulled into the station in preparation for the first run of the day. And I gotta say, watching Nickel Plate Road 765 pull into the station was very special to me, as this was the first time I've ever seen a live steam locomotive under steam in operation. Wow. As we wait to board the train, let's take a look into the history of Nickel Plate Road 765. Nickel Plate Road 765 is a S2 284 Berkshire, which was built in 1944 for the Nickel Plate Road by the Lima Locomotive Works. It stayed in revenue service on the Nickel Plate, pulling all types of trains until 1958, when it and many other locomotives of the Nickel Plate were retired. After being retired for nearly 5 years, it was preserved in 1963, and just over a decade later, in 1979, it was restored to operational condition. To make a long story short, it shifted from owner to owner until finally being donated to the Fort Wayne Railroad Historical Society. Ever since the late 1980s, Nickel Plate Road 765 pulled many excursion trains hosted by the Fort Wayne Railroad Historical Society, the Indiana Transportation Museum, and many, many others. As of today, the 77-year-old steam locomotive is still pulling excursion trains for the Fort Wayne Railroad Historical Society. However, it only comes on the Cuyahoga Valley Scenic Railroad, which partners with the Fort Wayne Railroad Historical Society every year in September to pull the Steam in the Valley excursion trains hosted by both companies. After watching the train pull into the station, and after watching a local band play some 1920s-era music, we then boarded the train. The next following clips are going to include some live commentary. I typically don't do this when I'm out rail fanning, but I'm pretty sure if you just watch the landscape from the train, I'm pretty sure it's going to be very boring without me talking, so let's go ahead and board the train, shall we? We are now on board the Steam in the Valley excursion train, sitting a couple cars behind Nickel Plate Road 765. Alright folks, we are now leaving Akron Station. The FPA-4s on the other end are leading this time around.
Wait, do we need their tickets?
Do you need what?
Do we need their tickets right now? Like, do they check them?
I don't know if they do or not.
But now that I have like the letters, because I was intruded too, and I wrote it with the other July, we went from here to Virginia, and then we drove back to the girl, a smile, and then the end spot, it wasn't a parking spot, so it was all over the place again. I think it was all worse. Yeah, that's
Many sidewalks go alongside the railroad tracks, so there's a bunch of good places where you can just sit and watch. There's a ton of people pacing the train right now. Crossing the river. Alrighty folks, we appear to be heading back to where we got on the train at the first place.
They were going to let people get off. Did people get off? Did you see anybody get off?
Since we are now heading back to Akron Station with the steam engine leading, I am pretty sure all the people we saw coming up here are going to be booking it back down to see the steam engine lead. I don't know if you just saw... Oh, here we go. You can see the smoke coming from 765 here. Big smoke. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how well you're hearing this, but you can hear the whistle. Alrighty, folks, we are now getting off the train here at Indigo Lake for the photo run by.
It's a neat thing to see.
After riding the train for nearly 30 to 45 minutes, we finally arrived at the Indigo Lake station in Indigo Lake, Ohio for the photo run by. Here is a clip of the train shifting around as the photo run by was beginning to be underway. Looks like some people decided to stay aboard. Not everyone wants to get pictures, but that's okay. I know some people complain about people being in their shots, but in this particular scenario, it's kind of unavoidable, so yeah. After the first pass was complete, I moved up to the actual railroad crossing next to the station to get a clip of the pair of diesel locomotives on the other end of the train as they were preparing for pass number 2. Alrighty folks, we're about to get back on for the final miles back to Akron. Now the clip that you just saw of us reboarding the train was the last one we took while we were riding the train in the first place, but I digress. Anyways, after we got back to Northside Station in Akron, we got off the train, got our merchandise, but the fun wasn't over just yet. After seeing how bad our pictures and videos that we got back up at Indigo Lake turned out, we decided to go out for some more pictures, and hopefully without all the people in the way. That being said, we drove out to some local businesses that surrounded a Dollar General that is just north of the North Portage Path Road and Riverview Road intersection railroad crossing. After waiting about 30 minutes, our special train rounded the corner and crossed the big railroad crossing on its second trip of the day. Since the train has passed us for the last time, let's take a look at the two diesel locomotives assigned to help out 765 on this day. CVSR 6777 and 6771, two former Canadian National FPA-4s which were built in 1959 by the Montreal Locomotive Works. Basically, MLW is basically the Canadian equivalent of ALCO. After serving on Canadian National for their passenger service, the pair were sold in 1977 to the newly formed Via Rail Canada, which is an intercity passenger corporation that mainly serves on the eastern side of Canada. After serving for Via Rail Canada, they were then sold to the Cuyahoga Valley Scenic Railroad and have stayed here ever since, although the paint scheme that they wear today was applied sometime between the late 90s and early 2000s. Both 6771 and 6777 are part of the small fleet that CVSR has that mainly consists of Canadian ALCO locomotives produced by the Montreal Locomotive Works. After watching the special steam excursion pass one more time, this will now conclude yet another video. I had a really fun day up here seeing 765 and finally returning to the CVSR after an 8-year break. Anyways, leave a like and a comment down below to share your thoughts on the video. If you enjoy my content, consider subscribing to my channel and tapping the notifications icon to be notified when a new video gets posted on my YouTube channel. Anyways, that's it for now. This is All Ohio Rail Fan, signing out.